Welcome back, everybody, to the next episode of Survivor Reignited here on World Championship Wreckage's YouTube channel. As always, I am your friendly neighborhood DadHat wearing, reality TV loving, pro wrestling loving DadHat, aka Justin, joined by my side, my buddy from clear across the side of the country, MJ Duplessis. What's up, buddy?
What up? How we doing?
Well, we're idiots.
Very much so.
In our last episode, we talked about a reward challenge, and we were one episode ahead. This is what I get for watching these episodes and trying to take notes while also trying to put my little one to sleep at night. So taking notes, I'm like, oh, wait, I need to jot that down. Nope, that was already an episode ahead when that happened. So, but we'll recap it anyway when we get to it. But we're post-merge. How we feeling post-merge here?
Very entertained. Like, this group of people is it's a lot more like socially entertaining than season one.
Season one, yeah. Season one is
you said it was gonna be more entertaining and like motherfuckers were gonna be more into the game, and
it just continues to get that way. I don't know. It's a while before we get to a quote unquote bad season. And that's really, again, just like pro wrestling. It's a matter of opinion. It's everybody's matter of opinion. So, Alicia, unfortunately, I know you loved Alicia. I know you loved Alicia.
I legit thought she was gonna be like in the final two.
I knew you did. I was like,
she was a lot more like physically disappointing, like challenge wise, than I thought. Like first episode singer, I was like, oh, she's going to dominate. And I was like, oh, you just kind of fly under the radar and you don't do anything. That's okay.
Yeah, she was definitely playing that low key game, other than the finger wag, the argument with Kimmy. Well, we're on day 25 here in the Australian Outbacks. The merged tribe, known as Barramundi, their food supply is running extremely low. They're down to supply of just one supply of rice, and they can't fish anymore. The stormy weather, the rainy season, it's arrived. It's here. We talked about the harsh conditions, and we talked about last episode about how dry it is. Well, it's not going to be dry much longer here in Australia.
Yeah.
They get tree mail for their reward, and they are told to divide into teams. And Jerry we talked about Jerry a lot last episode.
God. Yes.
Everybody wants to draw straws.
Yeah. And she was like, no, I want Kobe.
Because to quote her, nothing about this game is fair, so why should we start being fair now? Which I'm not going to lie.
I respect the attitude.
Yeah.
I respect that quote because she's not wrong, but like you just trying to get Kobe in your pants, and that's all. Yeah.
Mrs. Jerry Donaldson. Yeah, no, I don't think so. No. Sorry, Jerry. Doesn't happen.
When the man says no, the man says no.
Consent. But. Well, they draw straws. Jerry gets her own fucking way anyway.
And you can tell Kobe's pissed about it.
Yeah, but he's just like, let's go win the damn thing. He's just like, let's go win. He's like, yeah. So it's a relay race. The teams, it ends up being Jerry with Colby, Amber and Keith, Tina and Roger, and Elizabeth and Nick. It's an obstacle course. The prize is a trip to the Great Barrier Reefs.
Where we fucked up.
This is the reward challenge that we messed up on. Jerry and Colby win. They go have their reward. He says, we're not talking gameplay. I'm just doing a quick recap of what we talked about last episode that we screwed up on. Yeah. She says, oh, this is one hell of a first date. And of course, he sees that as nothing of the sort. No. He plays the wonderful political game to make him have one up on Jerry by bringing back Coral to everyone. And there's specific things, like he gets an orange one for Tennessee for Tina. Like, it's very, like,
he finds out things about their lives and he's like, you know what? We're going to kiss some ass. And I fucking love it for him. Because it works for him. as we talk about the rest of the season because this
Yes.
motherfucker is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. But yeah, so they win. They go on that. Check out the last episode. We talk a little bit more in depth about it. No need to rehash that. We're on day 26. That's when they go on their trip. They talk about the camp. Talks about how nice and peaceful it is back at camp because someone's not there. Someone it is amiss in the camp, and I wonder who that is. To quote Keith, and it's one of those where it's like, okay, cool, we really could get rid of Jerry and still have the majority, and it'd just be a little more peaceful around camp.
And everyone, even her own tribe's like, yes, go.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even caring. Just let's get her out of here.
Everyone on Ogakor talks about the next vote, and they're all very adamant about Nick being in the next vote, which we've talked about. Nick's kind of just there,
chilling, and he's not happy. He's miserable. Like
he's the
admits it.
Keith of that tribe.
Yeah,
he's the pawn of that tribe.
Yeah,
he does nothing. He's just there. The immunity challenge becomes tug of war on uneven platforms, and
so entertaining.
Yeah, because I mean, it's using the other person's weight and momentum against them. Like you can make them fall without actually pulling them. Like it's very cool to do it. Well, Nick wins. Nick does something.
He pulled the rabbit out the hat when he needed it.
He's so happy too. He's like, "Yeah, baby!" And I'm like, "You did something, Nick. You did it." That's like I feel bad. Like we talk about in today's Survivor realm, like what's your resume going into that final council? What's your what can you talk to the jury about your gameplay? And all he can really say is he won one immunity challenge.
Yeah.
If that was the case. Sorry, I'm adjusting my light here because daylight. I'm trying to get daylight in here and not be a shadow. Well, he wins. Jerry and Amber, they're pretty set on let's go after Elizabeth. Elizabeth is next. Of course, the trio that was Ogakor, Tina, Keith, and Colby, they don't think so. But they like the idea of keeping the camp peaceful and having Elizabeth there booting Jerry. And that's what happens. They turn on Jerry.
Smart boy.
Smart play, but all I'm going to say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorn, and you see that later in seasons. That's all I'm going to say. Because Jerry comes back and plays 2 more times.
Even more annoying and more ruthless.
Not honestly, no. I think she's learned what her problem was with the game. I think.
Good.
But it was a 6-2 vote. It was everybody except for Jerry and Amber.
Yeah.
And she's like, checkmate, you got me. She becomes the second member of the jury with Alicia. I feel bad for Amber.
I do. They couldn't even tell her, hey, we're eliminating your friend.
No. This is where Amber starts to kind of stick out more. Because I remember, because I told you, I watched All Stars. Like, it was one of the first seasons I saw, and I loved All Stars. But I had seen the first 2 seasons, and then I saw All Stars. But I just I don't remember Amber at all from the second season back when I first watched these. And she really doesn't stick out that much.
No, not until this.
Yeah, this is where you start to
oh, yeah.
And part of that has to do with editing. There's too much bickering between Jerry and Keith and Jerry and Colby and Tina. There's too much. So she didn't stand out. She didn't have to. What do you think of it being Alicia and Jerry on the jury? Like, we talk about bitter juries later on, and we will get to some that are bitter, bitter
Oh,
juries.
with Alicia, she's probably gonna be chill. Like
Yeah,
she's like whatever. Jerry, I know she's bitter, and she did her little fucking thing for the last episode where she has that conversation. She talks to the final two, and I'm just like, oh, you're angry at this man for no reason.
yeah,
You're like, it was a game.
yeah.
Go away.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's one of my worst things. Is I'm like, just because you got outplayed and you're bitter now, like, don't take that out on the person who deserves to win. Like, I hate that. I hate that. Well, we get to the next episode. We're on day 28 there in the Australian Outback. Jerry surprise elimination, but morale and spirits are high in Barramundi, especially with Keith. Keith is flying high. His
Chilling.
rival gone. Like, he sings the Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead from Wizard of
Yeah,
Oz.
so great.
But then you do feel bad. You see Amber. She really doesn't have any ally in the game anymore. But then Keith is very adamant that Amber, you shouldn't have aligned yourself with Jerry. Like, he's
Yeah.
very blunt about it. And I'm like, damn, Keith. Um, there's like little to no food left for them. You see them, how weak they look. Like, they look horrible. They don't want to do anything other than lay in the tent. But then Keith goes and they talk about not like using extra, energy. And then there goes Keith being a dumbass, running, chasing grasshoppers.
Yeah. But using the grasshoppers to get the fish is kind of genius.
Oh, yes. I mean, that makes sense. But how much energy? Those grasshoppers are fast, are
That's true.
super fast.
That's why
So,
he said he doesn't go for the big ones that move fast. He goes for the little baby ones because you can catch them easier.
yeah. I think it's funny, though. He's doing the confessional and he puts one in his pocket, but then one jumps out. He's like, oh, it's like, just keep them keep them in his
He
shirt
pats
pocket.
them down because I think
Yeah.
he kills them and then he feeds them to the
Yeah.
fish.
Because food is so bad, our reward challenge is a classic. It's a classic.
I've seen clips of this reward challenge for other seasons. Yeah, entertaining, but as someone who doesn't like certain foods, there's one thing in here that kind of upset me.
Well, the funny thing is, he doesn't do it as much here, but it gets later on where he leaves so much stuff covered, and like you get things like a jar of rice from your own camp, or
That's
water from your
rough.
own stream, like, and you're paying all that money. But
As somebody who doesn't like anything in the cheese Eatos family, $60 for Doritos is crazy.
and there's like 3 of them.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Yeah. But Doritos, if you would like to sponsor us, we would advertise.
Yeah, my bad.
We will make Michael eat Doritos every episode.
Gross.
This is gross. Thank you for the money. Well, they have $500. I will say they brought back the Survivor auction in the last couple of seasons, but with a twist. And I mean, you're 46 seasons away from this, so you'll forget about it by then. So I'll go ahead and tell you this. What he does is he has like it's almost like, I forget if he picks it out or he rolls a dice or something, but like he has a number that only he knows, up to 15, because there's 15 dishes total.
Yeah.
But the auction ends randomly at any point so if he draws item number 7 is the last dish of the auction. So if you're waiting for something better and you don't spend your money, it's on you, because it ends abruptly, which is kind of cool.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And kind of funny.
Yeah.
Their bodies after this
Oh yeah, it probably feels how I feel today. Like I ate something and my whole stomach feels like somebody stabbing me in the stomach. Like I'm experiencing Survivor today.
Because there was Doritos, there was what other foods were there?
Let's see. There's a burger that Roger got, and like he was
He
adamant.
scoffed down.
He was adamant that was going up there. Colby got exactly what you would expect Colby to get:
Muscle net, like energy
like
or like
like
a
coffee and a protein bar.
protein bar. Yeah,
Like
such a
the
Texas meathead thing to
the
do.
jacked up cowboy wants the
Said,
protein.
yeah,
Um,
protein bar, awesome, cool.
I mean, you got to admit, I mean, he's in really good shape. So I mean, he's probably used to eating so many calories a day. So I mean,
Yeah,
you're losing that muscle definition from not eating. I say this as the fat man sitting here in a chair
yeah.
doing a podcast, about to go eat something after this. Um, but yeah, so I mean,
Their stomachs are fine. They all have to go to the bathroom as soon as they get the
as
can.
soon as it hits, man. Well, if you have a busy day and you don't eat a lot, and then the next day you eat a decent sized meal, it does the same thing.
Yeah.
It does the same thing. Bathroom behaviors only brought to you here on Survivor Reignited. Um, you know, heavy rains are continuing. The Herbert River by them has come super close to camp, very, very close to camp. And the tribe decides to just relocate that camp to a little bit higher ground. Um, we keep going on. They start noticing what I've been saying. Nick does nothing.
Yeah.
Nick is just there. And even his former tribe mates, Elizabeth and Roger, like, talk about he does nothing around camp. Even though he says he's trying to save his energy for challenges.
Which, I mean, they all bring that up, and he's like, God damn it. Maybe he's the smart one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we get to the next immunity challenge. And again, we saw this in season 1, being able to make fire. And I talked about it then. Being able to make, I'm not going to tell you why, but being able to make fire becomes a huge deal in this game. And you can't proceed if you can't make fire. So the funniest part of this challenge, though, was because they have to build a fire and then run to the river, load up, dump the water in the bucket, but the bucket's got a hole in it, so you got to get enough weight. But the funniest thing was Keith thinks he wins, and it's going up, and he's like, "Yeah, no," because it goes down. Like, it's the funniest part of the entire challenge.
Absolutely.
But Colby wins. The protein bar and the coffee helped the cowboy get a win here. You are not a Colby fan, are you?
No, I am. But there's this long string of wins, and it's just like, goddamn.
This is the start of a streak in this season.
Kobe as a character, great. I think he's entertaining as hell. And he seems like a cool dude, somebody I would get along with. But it's just like, damn, like, leave a challenge or two for someone else.
Well, I mean, it happened in season 1 too. You see there are several seasons where people it's the same person over and over and over. And some people, when that happens, that need it, and the only way they make it close to the end is that damn necklace.
And I think that's probably Kobe probably would have been eliminated very
quickly.
early. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if they're sticking to that trio, I mean, you've got 3 solid votes right there. And Tina wasn't going to send Colby home over Keith ever. So
no, Tina and Kobe seem to be having that like stepmom bond, kind of like Elizabeth and
you
Roger.
see, like, you'll see coming up, Colby and his relationship with his mother and how close it is. Even with all that food in their stomach and it affects their bathroom effects and everything, they're still very weak. It's that their body is so depleted. That's just like that's like, okay, a flicker of a light. Like it's not burning. It's an ember to a fire, to put it in Survivor terms. This is one of moments in Survivor. We don't get it often, but Jeff comes into camp. And when Jeff comes to camp, something's up.
Yeah.
Jeff brings them a container of rice, several large bags of rice in the container. He talks about like, you guys had enough rice, proportioned out properly. You guys had enough rice to make it through from
I blame
worst
the
to
person who got eliminated. Jerry, like it was nothing.
Well, still though, can't.
Like,
Oh, she's gone. She's eating well now. Like,
that's like Jerry ate all the rice, and these people got fucked.
pretty much. But he comes in and he's going to make them a deal. He's going to give them. And the thing is, I love about Jeff in this moment. He's like, talk me through, how did this happen? And like Tina says something, and he's like, that's not an excuse, Tina. Like he jumps down her throat, and she's like, I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm just telling you like what happened. And he's like, look, you can have this rice that I'm bringing you because I'm concerned, but I need something major back. And he's like fishing. And he's like, I want camp. It's like shelter or food or shelter. It's one of the others. And he takes that giant ass flag of Colby's that they've been using as a tarp. But it's one of those things. You can rebuild. You can't. You're not growing food out there.
Yeah.
So they make the deal. They take apart camp. Colby's like, take care of that flag. I want it back. And Jeff's like, I will.
Oh yeah, they take his Texas flag, which is crazy. Like you take away one of his luxury items.
They get some food.
Yeah, I know, but damn,
you gotta have something.
It's a good thing they didn't ruin that flag. I would see what the pissed off Texas men would have done.
Yeah. So they make the trade. All right. Sorry, I've lost my place in my notes. Like it's
we were talking.
Oh yeah. So we're going into tribal council. Sorry, I was like, did we talk about immunity challenge yet? No, we did. Because it was the fire. So they go to tribal council. Keith says he feels secure in the game and does not bring his bag. And some people will look at that as arrogance, and I agree with it. If I'm playing that game and someone goes to tribal council and doesn't take their bag, I'm voting their ass out right then. And I'm pointing it out. And I'm pointing it out like, look who's comfortable. They don't even bring their freaking bag.
And so who somebody pointed it out?
I think it was Nick or Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Elizabeth was far more on to reading people than she gets credit for. She was
absolutely
much better.
Genius.
But Nick does vote for Keith because he points him out as arrogant. Elizabeth and Roger, they vote for Amber. But the foregone conclusion is that all 4 ex-Ogacores, they vote for Nick. And bye, Nick. You got your one immunity challenge win, and goodbye. Goodbye, Nick. Never to be seen of or heard of again. It never comes back and plays this game ever again. Yet. I say yet. So Jerry, Alicia, and Nick. Thoughts?
Not shocked at all. Nick and I'm very not shocked with when it comes to Jerry and Nick. It was like, okay, Jerry's pissing people off and Nick was not doing shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
The next episode,
you're gonna get eliminated.
Yeah. You have to put in some effort to, especially in these early days. Like it's the mentality of it's a game and you have to play that game, but you also have to survive. Like you have to help other people survive. The next episode is one of my favorites, and I still to this day think it is one of my favorite reward, like what you win ever. And we'll get there to that, but it's also a heartbreaking episode. We'll get there too. But we're on day 31. They've got their rice now. They're scraping by. Elizabeth is a skeleton. Like she's a
I
twig.
yeah,
She was
starting
tiny going into this game, and I mean, I felt so bad.
absolutely. Her and Tina, I was starting to like. They might need to get checked in on.
Oh, Tina too. Yeah, Tina.
Yeah,
Tina is yeah. Um, Elizabeth hopes that Colby and Keith and Tina will vote out Amber and keep it where it's the five of them.
yeah.
Um, they get to the reward challenge. It's a jungle ropes maze, and the prize that I was talking about is you get to go overnight via horseback with Australian cowboys.
By the way, didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, I knew
I
country music was really big in Australia,
did.
but I didn't know that they. I mean,
I did not know that was a thing either.
yeah.
Um,
But he got you get to go overnight via horseback. You're gonna sleep on a cot, so actually have some sort of a bed. You're gonna eat dinner. You're gonna get
Cowboy style. That was
you're gonna get breakfast in the morning. They bring out, I forget what the name of it because I didn't write it down, but it was like sweet bread is what they have.
yeah.
So they give them each a little bite of that.
Sweet milk bread is
Or no,
actually
that was for the winner. They only let the winner have. But Colby wins it. And I mean, how fitting is that?
the cowboy winning the cowboy
Yeah.
reward challenge. It makes complete sense. I was like, oh, he's going back home.
Yeah. And I'm like, you're gonna put like I don't know how many people have been on a horse, but I mean, yeah, like it fit Colby. I mean, yeah. He but rain arrives, and by rain, it
Stormed. It was her. I hate to say this because I have family who was affected by it, but like that was Hurricane Katrina like style rain that I was just like, oh damn,
torrential. Like, and you see you see the effects on the camp, but you also see it as they're trying to ride the Cowboys and
horses.
Colby are trying to ride, and that looks worse than the camp. But you see but like I felt so bad for them, like, and Colby too. Like Colby's just I'm just trying to get some damn food. Like, give me this camp. He said it happened like 10 minutes after they left too. So I mean, most of the ride was in that. So it wasn't like a leisurely horseback ride. So it makes me feel good though that he won because at least he knows how to handle a horse.
Yeah.
And knows
You
how to
put
handle a
someone
horse.
like Tina and Elizabeth in that situation.
Yeah.
You might be
could have gotten really hurt.
those girls. Yeah.
Somebody could have gotten very injured. Well, you see the rain, and it gets to the point where how heavy it is. They show there's clearly a cameraman or there's someone or a still cam at the camp, and you see the water because their camp is in a dry riverbed. Well, it ain't dry anymore. Roger even says that later. You
destroys
see
everything.
water just coming into camp, and you
Yeah.
see it hit the brand new tin of rice that they just got from Jeff, and start floating things away. It's so bad that when they're going back, the ones that didn't win the reward go back to camp, they have to stop. They have to stop and wait for part of the riverbed to go down for them to be able to cross it. And they wait a couple hours to do that. Well, then they get to the camp and they see the devastation. They see just how bad it is. And it's nothing. It's nothing. It's probably, I think it's probably the most heartbreaking moment in Survivor history.
Oh, I
Like,
would not be shocked.
Like, there are some sad moments, but this is, I mean, this is everything. Like, this is the sense of what you call home right now, which isn't much. The few items you have, the only little food that you have, which you just got food back. Like, and you have no energy, you're depleted, and you are starting from scratch again.
Yeah.
This is the third time now you are starting back from scratch because you just had to restart over at the merge.
And then them finding the tin can of food
and the water, how heavy it is, and Keith is like, I'll go get it.
That was so scary to watch. I was like, this could have gone bad.
So bad.
So bad in so many different ways.
Yeah. Oh, it could have been. We could have had a death on live TV, but like
Yeah.
on TV. Well, let's talk about the reward a little bit. They get to the camp. Colby's there. You know, beans, cowboy food. You know, cooking by campfire, playing guitar. Like,
yeah. He was at home. He was chilling.
Yeah, you know, the next morning. I love the next morning though, because he's like, they have like fresh homemade peanut butter and jelly. He's like, I've eaten like 6 of these, and we haven't even gotten to breakfast yet. He's like, this is the best peanut butter and jelly. He's literally in his tent, just slabbing, making sandwiches, talking about how good this is. But yeah, it's such a good. I don't know. I think because it's so different of a reward. What did you think of this?
I thought it was amazing, I thought it was amazing for a lot of reasons. Because also you learn something here. Because again, like I said, I didn't know like the Australian cowboy thing was like
I think
a thing. So I was like, I've only seen like the city life of like Australia. So I was like, cowboys in Australia is like cowboys with an Australian accent singing country music with a guitar was such like a vibe.
having a beer with my mates, if I remember correctly.
I was like, oh my god, what is happening?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Colby gets breakfast. Colby, you know, eats and eats and eats again. He talks about again the effects because you know he only had that protein bar and coffee from the auction. So now having all that food, he talks about the same thing about how it happened to everybody else. Now it's hitting him. When he gets home and he sees the devastation to the camp, and it's just like
he felt like shit. I felt bad for him. He's like, God damn it! I had.
What's almost like for everybody else a rehashing. They've gone through. They've been processing this for 12 to 18 hours.
Yeah.
And here comes Colby. Now we have to rehash it out.
Yeah, and he's just like like a bittersweet moment of like, yeah, I get that cool reward, but like my friends, you know, had to save their lives.
Yeah. Of course, you know, one thing I forgot to mention on the reward, they had to get their sponsor in. So Jeff's there drinking a Bud Light.
Oh.
I mean, this does stop. Jeff being the spokesperson does eventually stop.
I think it's like I've never seen like because my family doesn't drink beer, so it's like I've never seen more Bud Light in like anything. The first 2 seasons here, that motherfucker's just drinking Bud Light like it's going out of style.
Yeah. So we get to the immunity challenge. It's a slingshot challenge. You're trying to break plates. And here's the thing. They're so dumb for not taking out Colby.
Facts.
Like, you have the opportunity. Y'all could all, like, Colby, dink, dink, dink. Like, you could just take him straight out. No.
They went with the bitterness of, like, we all have, instead of going out with the strong guy, okay, let's take out people that we might have personal issues with. And that was dumb.
And it comes down to
he said, we're playing games. I'm going to win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got food. He's got energy. Like, he's got fuel in the tank. I will give this. I mean, yes, it's not the most physical challenge, but Elizabeth comes in second. Like, that who he finishes off Elizabeth. Tribal Council, you know, they talk about the damage and to camp. And of course, in front of the jury, Roger digs into Jerry about saying where they built the camp and how he suggested that it should have been built higher. So I'm sure Jerry loved that being on the jury. It's, you know, it's a little, we see a little bit of a crack now. Colby's kind of thinking on his own and not in this trio alliance. He votes for Roger. He's sticking to we're going to stay Ogacore strong. But Keith and Tina flip this time, and they vote out Amber. And Amber is gone in a 4-2 decision. Becomes the fourth member of the jury. So right now, Nick and 3 ladies.
Yeah.
Like, again, Amber, I don't know. I don't have much to say about Amber at this point in Survivor. I will have much more to say about her later on, but like in this point, it's just like this Australian Outback did not give her enough love and show to see her gameplay, to see what she was doing. Like,
yeah, because there's too many other like
bigger personalities.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But yeah, Amber being shocked, not surprising.
Yeah, I mean it's. Well, I mean, I think it kind of at the same time. It's. I think that Colby at least thought that they were gonna, we'll eat our own once we get the rest of them gone.
But I think for the people who did vote her out, there was still that bitterness of like, okay, she was friends with Jerry, so get her the fuck out.
Yeah. Well, folks, that's where we're going to end it today, because the next episode is going to be the last 3 episodes of the Survivor Australian Outback season. We get the finale, find out who the sole survivor is. We get Mike's take on who the sole survivor is, because he's seeing this for the first time. But let's do a little plug-a-palooza there, buddy. Let them know where they can find you.
MJ Duplessis on all social medias. You can catch me every Monday night as me, the Ring Queen Michaela, and the Pro Wrestling Wizard Doug. Netflix and Raw. We watch Monday Night Raw live. You have my new show, Inner Circle with Wheels. I will be filming more episodes here soon. I do have some interviews lined up. And then Queen's Court, me, Husky Harrison, the Treble Queen Bree Stout. We should be doing some more stuff here soon, hopefully. Gotta figure out a time where we're all not busy.
Yeah.
Because life happens.
Life be lifing, man. I understand. Working kids and work. Trying to do this at the same time. But you can find me, DadHat Wrestling, pretty much everywhere. World Championship Wreckage here on YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe. We are getting super close to hitting that 300 mark. And we appreciate everybody who has shown their love here. And also our TikTok account, search Survivor Reignited. You'll find us. I appreciate everybody's support and growth on that page over there. But yeah, next time you see us, we'll be talking about the finale, last 3 episodes of Survivor, the Australian Outback. We'll catch you next time.